Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the sanctuary. And welcome, Jerry. Hi, how are you tonight?
Welcome. Good. How about yourself?
I'm doing well, thank you. Y'all set for Thanksgiving?
Yes.
What are you
Since I'm
gonna
not
be doing?
since I'm not doing the cooking, I'm always ready. I just I missed last Thanksgiving because I was in the hospital,
Were
and
you asleep last Thanksgiving?
probably
Wow. So
probably
this is extra sweet.
yeah.
Well, we're glad you're here to celebrate
Yes.
Thanksgiving with us.
Yes.
Wow. So what are you gonna do? Are you gonna have your family over, or is it gonna be just you and Mary?
Yeah, I'm going to have most of them over. My youngest son and his fiance. When the kids split between this set of parents, that set of parents, and so forth.
Sure.
And so they're down in Miami with her parents. They're Cuban, and not met them. Our youngest son Andrew says they're just fantastic people,
Nice.
and they love Andrew just like we love Andy, which is short for Andrea, and we love her, and she's a sweetheart. But no, I got the grandkids, and we'll attempt to watch some football. It'll be a little bit noisy, I'm sure, but
Isn't
that's
it
okay.
unusual watching football when there's no crowds?
It is. It is. I had tickets to the UCF game, or invitation to go to the UCF game a few weeks ago, because I'm a big UCF fan. But I decided not to. Too risky, just too risky
Sure.
for me. And but it's surreal when you look at the if you're a football fan, you look at the games, and there's an overwhelming crowd of 10, 15, 20,000, or in some cases, just a few hundred, just the staff and the parents and the family. And,
right.
It's this stuff isn't going to go away. It's going to be around like the flu.
Yeah.
And we're going to have to be prepared for it.
I noticed that a lot of the television reporters have moved back home in their broadcasting from their houses.
Well, that's the safe thing. It's like today, I was going to go to a funeral of a dear friend of mine I hadn't seen in a long time, Gary. And I didn't think there'd be many people at the funeral. It was at St. Stephen's Catholic Church, and it's a big church. It holds a little over 1,000. And I didn't think there'd be more than 30 or 40 people. I don't know how many people went, but I kind of decided that it just wasn't worth the risk at this point.
Sure.
Because even though they're pretty strict, I mean, they about wearing masks and social distancing, and that, among other factors, just kept me away from attending the funeral. But he died a few months ago, but he passed a few months ago. I'm sorry, but they haven't been able to have any kind of memorial celebration. This is just horrible. It's like
it is.
I read in New York City, they still have bodies of the people who passed in ice storage since March or April. And I'm like, it's not like those poor people, those poor souls, they're enlightened. I mean, they're doing cartwheels if they've lived a good life, which I'm sure most of them have. And, but the families.
Right.
And so you learn to really embrace gratitude and to show gratitude for everything you've got.
Yes.
And, nobody needs me to tell them that, but it's the little things, it certainly is the little things. So
yes, and conveniently so, that's the theme of our show tonight, is about gratitude. With it being Thanksgiving week, it seemed like this would be the perfect time to bring it up. But personally, this year has been kind of scary, kind of weird, and there are a lot of changes that some of us haven't asked for. I do believe the universe is putting us where we need to be, and showing us things in a way that we need to see them in order for our best good, whether it's enlightenment or, a better job or, but that's where I've focused, is what I am grateful for. I'm grateful that I've got food, because in the beginning, the grocery stores were out of so many things. And that we can communicate this way. If this had happened 10 years ago, we'd have maybe talked on the phone, but There was some FaceTiming and stuff, but the level of it now. So we
Right.
have a lot to be grateful for.
Yeah, if you look at the way I look at it, we're talking about gratitude. It just brings more light to the universe. It brings more energy to the universe. And I do think the universe kind of pays that forward. In other words, your good deed will lead to somebody else's good deed.
Right.
And it's a chain. It's what they call quantum entanglement.
Yes.
I first heard of that phrase a few years ago at a conference, and I didn't. And she was a nun and a Franciscan, and Sister Ilia Delia, one of the smartest people, but she was also a scientist. And she was talking about not only Jesus Christ's resurrection, not to talk heavily, but she said, the Big Bang Theory. And she said the third big revelation, when the masses discovered there's life on other planets, we're not it, we're not alone. And, look how the Catholic Church, of which I'm one of, treated Galileo and everybody who went outside the church's teachings.
Right.
And here's somebody from Washington, D.C., high up saying, there's life on other planets, and that's going to be we better come to grips with it, not just a single UFO here and there, but I'm talking actual contact and communication. And there's people, who have been in contact with them. And and I think we'll see that in our lifetime. I don't think this is one of the things, Marion, what we'll say, oh, we'll never see that in our lifetime. I think we will. I think we're close. And the more we show gratitude, the more we ascend, the more we get light and energy and frequency and vibrations, and the higher we go, which makes it easier to maybe see things we didn't see and communicate. And anyway.
One of the things that became abundantly clear to me in the midst of this COVID is it's a virus. And virus is an imbalance in the body. And, you can get into this whole discussion, because if we've got, a serious illness, we didn't consciously manifest it, but we may have by holding on to emotions or imbalance and things like that. And it takes a lot of work to try to clear the illness through balance, but it can be done. But I feel like that's part of what this virus is about. The higher our frequency is, the higher our vibration is, the easier it's going to be to clear ourselves of that. And it's not even just about balance, but the more light that gets into our cells. And that's a pretty easy thing to do, and it's free. But it's not succumbing to the fear and things like that. But being in gratitude, to me, is one of the the easiest way to stay in a higher vibration.
Yeah. And somebody said, gosh, Marianne, I wish I could remember when I read it, that somebody had measured the energy and the frequency of coronavirus. That's people much, much smarter than me.
Interesting. I'm gonna write that down.
Yeah. And they said, listen, it's not that high a frequency. It is if we don't pay attention to it, but we can overcome this. And I was like, oh my gosh, this is phenomenal.
Yeah. And instead, in many cases, we're doing the opposite, and we're fighting over politics and unfriending people over the dumbest stuff and not being in a higher vibration at all. And I get it. It's over what we feel is right. But a lot of time, it may not be that it's for the greater good, that people just want to be right, and that, again, it's just self-serving. And I don't need to be right. I just want to get along. And I really hope that we get back to that.
My wife tells me I'm not right most of the time, so I'm kind of used to it. And she's right. See, there I go again. She's right. But you look at, we talked about it before, I don't want to bore people who have heard me say this. Some of these friendships, and probably some of the people listening who'll be calling in for readings, some of these friendships were 20 plus years. I saw some of my friends just, and I guarantee you, if I told some of them who I voted for, I won't say who, because it doesn't matter. I know it matters in a political sense, but I know they would defriend me. No matter, probably don't. And the other half would defriend me if I voted for the other person.
Right.
I'm like,
Similarly, I try to post positive things about, the direction that our country's going to go in. And people can't even seem to take that in the spirit that it was intended. They take it as fighting words, and that's not ever my intention. So,
how much do you like music?
I love music.
And I do too. There's some people who, and it is to each his own. Mm-hmm. So I've really gone on to Live from Daryl's House, Daryl Hall, the web series, and all these, Daryl Hall, half of Hall & Oates. And I've always loved Hall & Oates back in the 80s, right? Mm-hmm. 80s, 90s? I think mainly 80s. And maybe 90s.
Started in the late 70s or mid 70s. I get that, I think.
Yeah. And the people that they have on there is just, he renovated his house, renovated part of his house into a big studio, and they put together 9 or 10 musicians, and they put together some of the most brilliant people in music to sing some of their songs, some of Daryl's songs. Ooh. So I've been posting some of those, like, of course, I'm classic rock, like Joe Walsh, goes in there, and Billy Gibbons of ZZ Top, and they do LaGrange with about 10 or 12 musicians, and he had the OJs in there.
Wow.
And I love the OJs. God, they were great. And they can still sing. They got to be in their 70s.
Wow.
And they still sound great. He's had the Temptations and all these people. And so I've been posting those going, if you don't like music, you don't have to listen to it. But some people go, oh man, this is great.
Yeah.
I've watched some of those episodes. He started doing it in 2007. Mm-hmm. And I got to get onto the web series. I just go on YouTube. But you're right, spiritual and uplifting things. And
there's an analogy with that, with the sanctuary. So at the sanctuary, my idea in the beginning was to have just a safe place where you could come and learn about different things. And things may not be for everyone. You might not be into crystal skulls, let's say. You may not at all relate to UFOs or things like that. Reincarnation may not be something that you resonate with, but this is the place where we can discuss it and discuss ideas. And if it's not for you, that's okay. And we've got this cancel culture now where you can't see anything on the internet if somebody doesn't like it, and they'll tell you how much they don't. Why can't you just move along? You know what I mean? Just don't take it.
It's like, it's like, if we see something on TV, my wife and I always argue over the TV. Not passionately. She likes Grey's Anatomy. I'd rather watch something about Bigfoot and Sasquatch. It's about that diverse. You can't tell me a hospital's like Seattle Grace or whatever it is.
Right. Yeah.
But just change the channel. Don't watch, don't respond. But we have this. And I used to teach in sales. Our sales director was heading up, and he said, we always have to get our fist up. As soon as somebody, it goes, boy, it's go time. We never sit back and think before we respond. Because, oh man, I'm going to send about 2,500 poop emojis to show you what I think, of you. And I'm like, really? You got that much time? Yeah. You could be watching things about Sasquatch and Bigfoot.
Right.
That's really important. It's a shame.
Wayne Dyer, God rest his soul, had a great quote, and he said, what offends you weakens you. And I remember having a discussion with my mother, and again, God rest her soul. And this is why I tell these stories, is because she's not around to fuss at me for talking about her. But Mom was very set in her ways, and it was very difficult to change her mind about anything. And she was still mad at people that had wronged her 40 years ago. Yeah. She just said, well, I can't help the way that I feel. And, I would try to have discussions with her about that. For the first 15 seconds, that's a genuine emotion. But that's how long it takes to process from your mind through your heart, your gut. Anything after that is your choice. That's coming from your own mind. So in a manner of speaking, I said, I can't help the way that you feel, but why don't you just forgive them? Why don't you just move on? Why do you choose to? And then she would say, I don't know how, to let it go. So I actually bought her this book, Radical Forgiveness, which is a must read. It is so good.
I've heard of it. Who wrote it?
Colin Tipping. I think I first heard of it at Unity Church years ago. And it really describes the process of just going through and think of everyone that you have animosity towards. And there's actually a worksheet in there where you can write it out if you can't. Just sort of let it go immediately. And one of the exercises is to write a letter to the people that you feel wronged you. And you don't give it to them, but but it is really powerful because
that's a powerful.
When you forgive people, it lightens you up so much. It just gets rid of so much baggage, and it really does. It's a very selfish thing to do because it really helps you. It's really good for you.
Yeah, forgiveness. You look at gratitude and forgiveness. Two of the things that the universe really, God smiles greatly when we do those things, because that's following in God's footsteps. That's following the universe and spirit's footsteps. That frees us of these chains, of these. I always say, and it's tough to do. Somebody steals all the food in my refrigerator and I go, oh, that kid, he's just a jokester. No, I'm going to say some nice, so polite word. I mean, it's just tough to do.
Yeah.
But in the readings I've done, one of the things that I find people find it toughest is to forgive themselves, that they're not perfect, that they don't compare. And there's so much low self-esteem.
Yeah.
They can't forgive themselves for one mistake they made like 15, 20 years ago. And I always say, the minute you're thinking about forgiving somebody else, somebody is thinking of forgiving you. And that exchange of energy is powerful, Mary Ellen. It's tough to do. There's people, gosh, that I've had to let go after years. And even now and then, I don't know if I can truly let go of it. I'm thinking with one or two. One's an organization, one's a couple people. I'm thinking about 95%. There's that last 5% that universe going, come on, you're almost there.
Right.
What's it going to hurt, Jerry? And they're just like dragging a ball of chain through mud. And we don't want to let go of the ball and chain. The ball and chain has, and we've wronged people. And don't you think people find it tough to forgive us for all the stuff that we've done? And those two things, I fully believe, measures up to that quantum entanglement, that metaphysical flow that flows throughout the universe, throws throughout the globe, and helps people realize their potential. There's
a little message going across the bottom of the screen. You're going to be doing a few readings a little bit later, and if people are interested in getting a message from Spirit, or if they have a question, please type the request in all caps in the comments, and then we'll choose a few people from that. So I just wanted to
go ahead. I'm sorry, but we should probably mention that last time and maybe the time before, there's been a few trolls. And what I mean by trolls is, listen, it's a pandemic. I and Mary Ellen would not begrudge anybody for trying to make a living, but I'm going to speak on your behalf, Mary. But this is Mary Ellen's show. She puts time, money, resources, everything into planning this. And the people you see come on saying for accurate reading are not connected with this.
Yeah.
You don't have to come to me for a reading. Okay. There's a lot of talented mediums in the Orlando area, in the Central area, wherever area you may be.
Yeah.
But I saw last time that they were coming on quoting for accurate reading, call me or text me or whatever.
Right.
And again, they need to do that on their own dime.
Yeah.
And in their own way. If they have a website, their own website, if they have Facebook page, but just to avoid confusion, they're not connected with the sanctuary.
Yeah, yeah, and it's happening more often now. And what they seem to be doing is at the end of the show, they're going along and then responding to everybody's post. But anyway, we digress. So
Okay.
yeah, just so you'll know that only Jerry and I are involved with this show. Anybody else contacting you is not with us. So
yeah.
But something that you said earlier about if somebody wronged you, say, like you said, if somebody came and ate all the food in your refrigerator, how can you forgive them, especially if they're still standing there eating it? They say, I'm sorry, but they're still eating the food. But there was
at least give me a bite. At least give me a bite.
Right, right. There was another book that I read that is right up there with Radical Forgiveness, and we'll talk about that in another show. It's called Real Love. They give a lot of examples about our interactions with other people and what love means and what you're willing to put up with in a loving relationship. So they give certain examples like, what if you had very little money left? You had your last $3. That was all you had left in the world, was $3 to your name, and you didn't know where you were going to get any more money. Then you left the $3 on your coffee table, and I knew that was going to happen.
It's snowing. It's snowing in Orlando.
Anyway, then a few people came through your room, and you noticed later that somebody had taken the $3. It was gone, and you would be furious. You would be very upset. How could somebody be that uncaring, and they would take my last $3? Well, let's take another scenario now and say that you had $1 million in $1 bills, and they were tied up in neat little bundles, and you had them in the back room, stacked ceiling to floor, $1 million. And you took $3 out of that stack of $1 million, and you set that on your coffee table. Then you had people come through your room, and then somebody took the $3 off the coffee table. Would you be as upset? Probably not, because you had almost another $1 million in the back room. So really what you're upset about isn't that somebody took your money. Really what you were upset about was that that was your last $3. And then, so that's the thing, the examples that we do with the radical forgiveness is you try to look at things from the different situations and see what is really bothering you. Why does it bother you so much that somebody did something? Somebody may have done, so you said that there was a group. They may have acted inappropriately. They may have hurt people. They may have used whatever, but then it also just may have been somebody took advantage of you at a time when you were really down. And that's why it still kind of stands out in our minds. So that's what, forgiveness is about. It's a multi-layered thing, and there's, many, many levels to it. So anyway, I just, again, the book is Radical Forgiveness by Colin Tipping. Highly recommend. In fact, we've got books we're going to be selling on our website as well. So that's going to be one of them that'll be on there. The highly suggested reading. So, and I took your suggestion, and I do plan to start a class starting in January. It'll start online, and I don't know what to call it. If it should be a metaphysical class, and we've got people watching right now. If somebody would like to comment, you can, hang on. I just have to block somebody. Okay.
Here they come.
Yeah.
Here they come.
Yep. Anyway, yeah. There we go. Okay. Sorry about that. They were doing exactly what we said. They're in. Yeah. Thank you, Debbie. Anyway, so the class, we used to have at the store metaphysical class. I think now we're in the point where we're really getting into 5D. We're working more with the masters and with higher beings, consciousness 2.0, but we're going to be doing things that are hands-on, like we're going to try psychometry. We're going to do pendulums, auras, and things like that, in addition to really clearing through a lot of the stuff to get us to the next level spiritually. So I'm going to be putting out information about that soon. And I appreciate your encouragement to do that. So, all right, we'll get back to gratitude and forgiveness, but let's take a reading. Let's see, Bonnie.
Hey,
So
Bonnie.
just a message from spirit.
Yeah. Great picture. What a smile. Man, if people would just smile more like Bonnie. I mean, okay, so I'm sensing from spirit there is a female there who is applauding you. It's either mother or grandmother. I haven't ascertained which, but there's a mother essence about her. There's a mother feeling about her, Bonnie. And what spirit and your mom, I feel strongly this is mom or mother-in-law or, somebody like a mom to her, because I just said mom, almost unconsciously. I just said mom. And she's just standing there. She's not saying anything, but spirit says in the down times, it's like the beginning of this week, which today's Tuesday. It's kind of the beginning of this week. I don't know. Let's go back to Sunday. Maybe Sunday was kind of a downtime for your body, or you felt somebody did you wrong, or something. There's something there that indicates a negative energy. Not a ghost or anything like that. I'm just talking about from somebody, right? The negativity. And now it appears your mom. I'm just going to call her your mom, okay? Instead of the mom-like essence, because that just didn't sound right. She just kind of whipped out a cane. I really don't like when they start. I think they're going to hit me over the head. But don't let the naysayers get you down. It's like you voiced your opinion. Excuse me, Bonnie. You voiced your opinion, or you had a train of thought, or a different school of thought, and somebody said, well, no, we're not going to do that. That's not the way we do things around here, which could be family, could be work, could be whatever. And Spirit says your ideas and your thought process and your intuition, Bonnie, is so strong. Continue to listen to it. It will lead you on the right path. A couple of things I'm getting. Something about school. So I'm getting something about school. I don't know if you're a teacher or you're going to school or thinking of going, let's say, back to school. But God is saying, and I'm not like I'm channeling God, okay? I use God, universe, and spirit interchangeably, Bonnie. And they're saying your thankfulness, the things that you are thankful for, really pleases the universe. God smiles greatly upon you. And it's almost like a stretch of bad luck or a stretch of, and we all have them, right? And they're difficult to get over. We just don't, oh, good, bad luck has come here again. Maybe this will make me tougher. And it's almost like there's times you're wishing for a break, and Spirit said, Spirit's hurt you, God's hurt you, universe has hurt you, your loved ones have hurt you, your spirit guides have hurt you. And one of your spirit guides is a Quaker from Pennsylvania. Is that Quaker from Pennsylvania? I don't know. I just heard Quaker and I saw Pennsylvania, so it could be Amish, but I think it's Quaker. They're going to help lead you, guide through some kind of navigate you through some drama that always comes around holiday time. And Bonnie, I don't know, there's a fear of being lonely, or there's a concern about being lonely, which is tough. Although I see you surrounded by loved ones, but I'm hearing something about a concern about, not a fear, but a concern about, don't worry about that. You got plenty of spirit and people who love you, loved ones and ancestors. So I hope this helps. Spirit is saying this is real specific. I try not to get real specific only because normally Spirit doesn't work like that. But sometimes they do. But, they want to leave a lot of it up to our intuition. But the second week in December, Bonnie, and I don't want you to wait around and all of a sudden second week in December comes, it goes, okay, where is it? And that's one of the reasons why Spirit doesn't get specific. But let's just say mid-December, second, third week. It's going to be a really good time for you. I know that sounds like astrology, and I'm not an astrologist. And I see a reconciliation with family members or one or two estranged family members, and I'm seeing a nice reconciliation. So I'm going to leave that with you and give you peace and blessings and have great holidays.
Thank you very much. Okay, I'm going to jump ahead to Jessica. I'm pretty sure that last time Jessica, and correct me if I'm wrong, had requested a reading and we did not get to her.
We did not get to her.
Ahead.
Jessica Wilson. How are you, young lady? There's a lot from Spirit for you right now. Spirit wants to talk about your sixth sense, your metaphysical gifts. And she, it's a spirit guide. Okay, Jessica, it's like an angel. And don't know if it's spirit guide or just an angel, archangels. I think there's some female archangels. Are there female archangels? I don't know.
Good question.
Yeah, I really don't know. When I don't know, I'll tell you. I don't know.
Write that in my notes.
Yeah, there's. I know that I gotta grab my Noreen Virtue book about archangels and ascended masters. It's so good. But it's time for. Oh, that's why this is an angel. There's an angelic ambiance about this. This being. I don't think it's a spirit guide, Jessica. I think it's above a spirit guide. I say above a spirit guide. I don't think she got promoted to above the spirit guide. I just feel this is of a higher dimension, higher realm. And she says, it's time to spread your wings and fly with your gifts. It's time to spread your wings and fly. And it's also time to not care as much what people think. And you get to that point, it will be difficult, but it will be, Jessica, so enlightening. So enlightening. So don't be scared of that. Because or not scared, but concerned. Okay, let me rephrase that. You're a brave young woman. I don't think you get scared by much. The bumping you're hearing where you're living, I think there's a pet that has passed, and there's a father figure, and they're just hanging out at your house. It's nothing to be scared of. I'm sorry, concerned about. Spirit warns me of using certain language. I see within the first 3 months of next year, a financial opportunity for you that on the surface, you kind of questioned. You may question, but in the end, I'm not talking 5 or 10 years in the end. Jessica, that's too long of a time to wait. I think by the end of the year, you'll go, okay, this was worth the risk. And the company or the product has like a fruit name to it or something about that. You know, there's a fruit. So, yeah. Oh, your father has passed? Oh, I'm so sorry. He's wearing a kerchief. You could say he never wore kerchiefs, but it's somehow it's red. I don't know if it's red as a favorite color, but almost what people out west would wear. Not a bolero, but what people out west would wear. Sorry, that was my stomach growling, Jessica. I hadn't had dinner yet.
No, that was.
I know. I'm just kidding.
My dogs are barking.
I know. I had dinner. But your father, your daddy, your father said he left you so soon. And he's so sorry he left you so soon. Even though it could have been a long illness, I kind of warned people, it's like he was here one day and gone the next. And so he's sorry. He watches over you. And it's funny. They always talk about, I always carry red when I have it. Good. Oh, Jessica, look at your energy, bringing your father through. And your father has so much energy. That is so good, Jessica. Congratulations, young lady. I'm just a conduit. The energy's with the person receiving the message. and the person on the other side. Yeah, he likes the car you're driving. I don't know what significance he's like. Oh, yeah. Oh, I don't know. I don't know if you have a sports car or I don't know, but he's like, oh, yeah, wow, yeah. But see, your energy so far, the energy is so good with these people. It's easier to connect and do a reading when the energy is so, so good. Careful traveling around the holidays, and I'm talking more Christmas than Thanksgiving. Your father's giving you what advice a father would give his little girl, because he just said his little girl. And so, well, he loves you, and it's whatever you're doing for Thanksgiving, it doesn't matter. He's with you. Okay, I don't know how long he passed. I'm looking at 5 to 7, so I know it's 5 to 7, or maybe he was born in 57. I don't know. He's just showing me a 5, and then he went like that, 7, 5, and then 7. So Jessica, I'm sorry it took us so long to get to you. I missed you last time, young lady. So you made contact with him. I tell people all the time, Mary Ellen, it's great you come to me, but you don't need me to make contact with your loved ones. You don't. Okay. So.
All right. Well, thank you very much for that. And as a reminder to everybody, Jerry's website, I've put up here on the banner, jmacmedium.com. They can learn more about you. And if they would like longer readings with you, this would be the place to find out how. And Jerry's prices are extremely reasonable. What's the wait time now for readings?
I'm sorry, that was a TV. I thought my car alarm was going off, and my wife was watching TV downstairs. No, Thursday night. It's not Thursday night. So thank God it can't be Grey's Anatomy. We binge watch everything on Netflix. I'm sorry, what was your question?
What's
the wait time? It's probably a couple of weeks.
Okay.
It was longer, but I'm into the second week of December, so probably 3 weeks, because I'm not doing many readings. It's not that I'm not doing many readings these days. I've just got to wait till my energy, my voice get back fully, and
sure.
So I'm doing about 3 a week. And
okay.
Do we have somebody from Ireland on?
We do, and we're going to get to that in just a second. Okay. So everybody hang out, and please remember to type your request for messages in caps so that I can pick them out of the other comments. I wanted to let everybody know about Jerry's newsletter, to email Jerry at jmacmedium@gmail. That's going across the bottom in a banner as well. But the Sanctuary has a website, sanctuaryfl.com. Please check out the website. You can sign up to be on our email list. We do not send out a lot of emails either. So, all right, let's find our friend from Ireland. Here we go.
Oh my God, Molly Kelly. If that's not an Irish name. Now, Molly, I was born on St. Patrick's Day. My name is Jerry Patrick McDaniel. And my mom's maiden name was Kelly, but there was, I don't know if there was an E in it. But I had I'm not going to bore everybody, including Molly. She's probably asleep by now.
I want to know where Molly's from.
Yeah, what part of Ireland? I've been to Ireland twice. Most beautiful country I've ever laid my eyes on, most friendliest people. And that's not any deterrent to any other countries. I've not been to a lot of countries, but went to Galway. Is that Galway Bay on the southwest shore of Ireland? Is it Galway Bay? Donegal. Oh, Donegal. Yeah, that's where you're from, Donegal. Yes. My wife is related to some Breens. Now, there was a Breen there that fought for Ireland, and English may not like him too much, but I think he was from Donegal, or fighting something from Donegal. Yes. I did my genealogy, Molly, and I'm really from Scotland, but that's okay. St. Patrick is from Scotland. Yeah. Okay, Molly. Okay, Molly. That's great, Mariella. You're getting And you're now an international star. Look at you. Look at you. Okay, Molly, so the first thing I'm getting is something about a brother. I have a feeling this brother's not passed. And if you say I don't have a brother, I can't explain it. Other than what Spirit is saying, please watch out for your brother. Two. I don't know if there's two brothers, but Spirit just correct me and said two. There's two. And if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. I misinterpreted Spirit, but I don't think I did. There you go. Thank you very much. Thank you, Molly. Bumpy. Okay, Molly, this is for you now. Bumpy roads in a relationship, but don't know if you're married. It's none of my business. But whether you're in a relationship now or getting ready to get in a relationship, or if you're just in a relationship, I'm sorry, because those are difficult to end. But it was Spirit is advising you to be your own self. Don't conform to what people think you should be or what people's expectations are of you. Oh, strong psychic powers. Strong psychic powers. So make sure you're using or trying to develop your psychic abilities. And there's places in Ireland, I know, Mary Ellen, there's places in Ireland you can really develop your psychic abilities. You don't have to pay a ton of money. It's not like the place in England, Arthur Findlay. It's not like that place. But there are places I would get in a circle, Molly. There's metaphysical gifts and there's metaphysical gifts to be in and to be explored. I'm getting something about schooling. I don't know if you're in school or you're going to go back to school or getting more schooling, but it's almost like, Molly, the universe is leading you on a different path. Oh, psychic powers. Molly, psychic is not, it's what somebody would call fortune telling, but it's really not. It's getting information outside your five senses, the touch, feel, sense, hear, and smell, right? Those are your five. Did I get those right? No, touch and feel, the same thing. So I missed one. It's like the seven dwarfs. I'm always living out.
Taste.
Taste. There you go. Taste. It's like the seven dwarfs. I'm always living out snappy or slappy or something. I can get 6 of them. So psychic, Molly, and you can look up psychic powers. It's getting information. You kind of don't know where some of it may be about the future, some of it may be current. Okay. Let me give you an example, Molly. You say something to somebody or you're thinking of something. Well, that's more clairvoyant. You say something to somebody and they go, how did you know that? You may say to them, listen, good luck on your test tomorrow. And they've never told you they were taking a test. But the universe, God, universe, and spirit, the universe lets you know that you have these gifts. You think of something and somebody says it. That's clairvoyance. Which is a type of psychic, right? They're closely connected. Clairvoyance is you're seeing images and pictures that a lot of times are symbolic. Oh, there you go. Oh, so you have premonition. So you're extremely gifted. It's not a curse, it's a gift. And one thing, Molly, you're not causing, if it's something negative, you didn't cause it. You just, spirit gave you a glimpse of it. And what they're doing is they're giving you glimpses. Although now I think you're just about on the cusp of getting these things all the time. You're going to be able to help people, Now, the readings I give today, you're hearing what Spirit's meant to tell you today. Now, to me, what is Spirit? Spirit's the energy that moves everything around. Now, I'm going to have some people disagree, and that's okay. I'm Catholic, so that's like the Holy Spirit, but we don't call it Holy Spirit, we call it Spirit. Holy Spirit's the energy that moves everything around and completes the Trinity between God, Jesus, and the Holy Spirit. I'm not meaning to talk religion, but to me, Spirit's the energy. And we talk to Spirit as if it's a living, breathing thing, because quite honestly, it is. Poor Molly, just confused. She probably has a headache now. But embrace these gifts, read up on these gifts. There's a lot of really good books. I am studying now under Deborah Lynn Katz, K-A-T-Z. And the book that changed my life is first book she wrote called You Are Psychic. Read that and see. You can get it from Amazon. You can get it most bookstores, metaphysical, paranormal bookstores. And see if that doesn't speak to you, Molly, because it spoke to me. It describes so many things. But also look up and investigate your premonition gifts, because that's a beautiful gift. And I'm going to end this, Molly, but I won't wish you luck. God bless the Irish. Go Notre Dame. I'm a big Notre Dame fan. Football in Ireland is a little bit different than football in the United States.
Just a follow-up question.
Yeah.
Anything more about her brothers?
Okay. They both pass. Is that right? No. They're both living?
I think so.
Okay. This could be the brother that Spirit Molly was concerned about, the path. And that has to come from within. And he has separated himself. I don't feel that you're the only one in the family he has separated himself from. And there's, Molly, see if this rings a bell. I think it will when you look at this stuff later tonight. I say later tonight. Ireland's 6 hours ahead? Oh my gosh, are they 6 hours ahead? I can't remember now. I've been to Ireland. I know it takes 6 hours to fly there, but I can't remember if they're 6 hours ahead. But realize, number one, Molly, you don't own other people's issues. You pray for them. You send them light. Here, just what Mary Ellen chose for the topic tonight. You send them gratitude that they're a member of family. You send them forgiveness. And there's an issue where he's jealous of you. When you say jealous, what's he? Don't know, but he's jealous of you. This is petty jealousy. Mm-hmm. I don't know how old he is, but he's acting like a 12-year-old, 10 or 12-year-old who gets jealous because somebody gets picked before him. And I'm sorry, we play baseball. You guys may play cricket, but we play baseball. He gets picked before your brother, or this guy gets picked before your brother in a lineup for baseball. And so he gets jealous. He gets mad. I don't know if he has anger issues, but I think there's times, Molly, that he borders on that. He keeps a lot here, I'm hoping guys are going to get together for Christmas. Mary Ellen, you ever been to Ireland?
I know, but it's on my short list of places I'd like to visit.
Talk about 20 shades of green. Oh my gosh.
Oh.
Unbelievable.
She said it's 1 a.m. now there. So.
Oh my God. I think I'll conclude the reading, Molly, so you can get some sleep.
We're so glad to have her. This is awesome.
Yeah, we got somebody from Ireland. And you could have said, I'm from Germany and my name is Molly Kelly. Mary Ellen and I would not have bought that. Unless your name was Hans or something like that. And Mary Ellen, you ever drank Guinness?
Yeah, I'm not a fan of the heavier beers, but
it is. Oh my gosh.
Now, do they drink it room temperature or ice cold?
Some bars do, and some bars serve it cold. Some bars drink it, but I say cool. But they have Guinness goes around and inspects. At least they did years ago when we were there. Inspects every bar and restaurant that serves Guinness to make sure it's being poured right.
Wow.
That's
quality.
They have a quality assurance program that's like no other. Yeah. Thank God it's beer. Anyway.
Yeah.
Oh, that was great. Yeah, that was
her name. Her name is Molly Ann Rose Kelly. I love it. That's beautiful. I
Well,
feel that Irish energy. It's awesome.
well, she's still listening. But daughter is Katie Rachel. She's the oldest. Next is our oldest son, Patrick Kelly
Mm-hmm.
McDaniel. And then our granddaughter is Kelly Rose
Aw.
McDaniel. Yeah,
Oh, there's a connection there.
there is a connection.
All right, we're going to get to a few more readings, but while you were speaking with Molly, I was looking up the archangels, and two of them are female. The archangel Jophael, and there's seven, which I don't think I ever knew there was a number. Archangel Jophael, if I'm saying that correct, is the patron saint of artists. Her name means beauty of God. And
Oh, wow.
Archangel Ariel is the
Ariel.
patron saint of animals and the environment. Her name means lion or lioness of God. And while we were you were speaking, people were mentioning Doreen Virtue because she kind of went over to the dark side there.
Well, she changed direction. She changed path.
Yeah,
But her book on ascended masters and
mhm.
archangels is the best.
It is. It is.
It's the best reference, and which reminds me, I got to look at it again. There's just so many. I mean, she was such a good writer, and she became a born again Christian, and to each his own, right?
Yeah.
But she has renounced everything,
Yeah.
which is a shame, but it is what it is. But her books are still out there. You can still get them. Gosh, how many books has she written?
A lot.
Oh, it's got to be in the 20s.
Yeah.
But yeah, get that Ascended Masters and Archangels book. And for a while, it was hard to get.
I'm not sure if Hay House is still publishing or things or not.
Yeah.
We can check that out as well.
Yeah. I don't know, but yeah. And isn't it her brother still doing metaphysics? Is it her brother?
I don't know. I had not heard that.
Yeah, there's another virtue related to her that's still doing the metaphysical work. I thought somebody could probably clarify that for us.
All right, we try to get to another couple of readings tonight. Okay. Let's see, Justin.
This is an old soul. You can look at his picture and just look at the energy coming from this young man. And Justin, I think from a very early age, you knew something was different. And I don't mean different like, you like to wear bell-bottom pants. Everybody else is wearing shorts. I'm not saying that. Justin's so young, he probably doesn't know what bell-bottom pants are. I don't blame you, Justin. But these gifts, I love to talk about people's metaphysical gifts. I think, and there's two different directions Spirit wants to go with this, Justin. Number one is to talk about your gifts, and you have multiple. No, I don't. Hello, yeah, bell bottom. Justin, you'd have to be my age, which I remember 19 as if it was only 46 years ago. Yep, Justin, I'm 65. But they want to talk about your gifts. What was the other thing? I'm sorry. It'll come to here in a minute, Justin. There's two things I want to talk to you about. Well, more than two things. Spirit said there's been a lot of either tragedies or near tragedies that have happened to you, and or unusual, odd circumstances. You're like, the heck's going on? I was going to use other words, but we'll keep it clean, keep it PG. What the heck's going on? And Spirit wants to know you're not cursed. You're not a magnet for drama. You're not a magnet for things that just seem to happen to you. Is you have so much energy, Justin, you're drawing spirit around you. Okay, so you're drawing spirit around you. And what I would suggest at an early age, I don't know if you're interested in your metaphysical gifts, but they're there, Justin. Multiple. Psychic, medium. You can read auras. premonition, dreams. It's all there, Justin. It's like Justin. It's like the universe is just laying everything out on the table, and it's overwhelming for 19. It'd be overwhelming for 65. But at some point in your 20s, which is what, next year? But at some point in your 20s, Spirit's going to ask more of you because you are that talented, you are that gifted, and you're a healer, so you have this ability to help people in need. Why am I sensing? Well, you're young and you've used your full name, so I'm going to be, in case anybody picks up on that. I'm feeling, Justin, there was in your early years, isn't that funny? You're only 19, but in your years growing up, yes, there were things that happened that you couldn't explain, but there were negative things that happened to you by other people or from other people. Okay. And that's just as far as Spirit will let me go. And that's as far as I want to go. And so and I feel a big part of that, Justin, is you were lied to. You weren't told the truth about certain things. Maybe it's family members. Maybe it's the family secrets. Every family has secrets, Justin. But you have this ability to help people and to help heal people. And Justin, I truly believe that's going to be one of your callings, to help heal people. How do you figure this out, Justin? So how do I figure out this path is for me? Or do I want this path? Meditate. Just go 5 minutes. If you're not meditating, you light a candle and you say, God, universe, Spirit, higher being, infinite intelligence. Because I used to speak at a spiritualist church, right? And a great spiritual church in Orlando. Well, there's been 2 great spiritualist churches. I speak now at Open Arms, which is a great, please check them out, Open Arms. And I do help a lot of people. That is not surprising. I can see people going, we don't know how to solve this. It could be a relationship with your friends. It could be, how am I going to get this? It could be schoolwork. I don't know if you're in school. It could be work related. And they're going, let's go to Justin. He always seems to have an idea. And your ideas are right. And you're an old soul. You've lived many previous lives. And you know stuff, Justin, you just don't know how you know it. And sorry, Justin, I have a little bit of ADD, so I started down one path, and if I remember what it is, I'll go back to it. But it's really doing these metaphysical gifts. And if you believe in previous lives, Justin, you were a doctor in a previous life. I got doctor, that maybe you want to be a doctor. And a lot of that is that healing that you do. And a lot of healing that you do with people at such a young age. You're so blessed and so gifted. So I'm going to leave that with you, Justin. And please remember, the past does not define you. There's something difficult in the past. Marianne, there's just something difficult in his past. And it doesn't define you. It's part of who we are. Okay, I did not come from the smoothest of households, was fairly dysfunctional, and but it doesn't define me as a person. It's changed me. So Justin, good luck. 19 years old. Wow, that is something.
Yeah, we appreciate him being in there.
Yeah, we really do.
Yeah. People are commenting about Doreen Virtue, and if you go to Amazon, they are sponsoring her book about how she converted to Christianity and how, wrong she was and everything. But her son, is both 2 sons, Charles and Grant Virtue, both have books still with Hay House.
Okay, Charles.
So, very interesting.
So there's a book about how she converted to Christianity.
Yeah.
From metaphysical, New Age, whatever.
Okay. Yeah. It's called Deceived No More, How Jesus Led Me Out of the New Age and Into His Word. And she doesn't want you calling on angels. She wants you just to rebuke everything that she ever said. So anyway, I don't even want to give her any more time because I think she'll be back. I think I mentioned before, my thought was that this started when she got a new husband, and if one changes, the other will probably change too. Just saying.
Well, Mary Ellen, men, we're just stupid as stupid is as stupid does.
Yeah. Well, everybody's got their path, but there's several other, and we are going to get to a couple more readings here, so everybody hang on. But there are other people too that have completely changed paths. One of them I was really disappointed in, Dr. Christiane Northrup. She was on Oprah. She was, written wonderful books about women's health, and all of a sudden now she's on QAnon, and she believes that COVID's a hoax and that masks are completely unnecessary, and she's just an anti-masker, and it's just really very frustrating.
Well, the amazing thing about, not to talk religion, but about the Bible, okay, is the Pope we have now, as Catholics, Pope Francis. Because fundamentalists, and I hope I don't offend anybody. If I do, it's certainly not my intention. But let's just say people. I don't want to label this group fundamentalist and this group whatever. People love to quote lines in the Bible. And Pope Francis said, you can't quote text without context. But the time it was written, what was around that quote, and the amazing thing that most Protestant, and my brother, before he passed, he was 35 years a Methodist minister. He's a lovely man. But when Jesus was alive, the old scriptures, the Old Testament, the Jewish scriptures were around. The Ten Commandments are around. He only quoted 2 of the Ten Commandments. He only quoted 4 books of the Old Testament. Only 4. But you look at Jesus, you look at the lessons he was teaching, he wasn't quoting scripture. The prodigal son and the woman in the well. Let's he without sin throw the first stone, saying, hey, wait a minute, you're going to stone this woman and you're home. Just as good. I mean, all the lessons he taught were lessons, that people go, oh, if he taught lessons by quoting Bible, they'd go, well, I don't know what that means. But he's a phenomenal teacher.
And if we look at the Nag Hammadi and the Dead Sea Scrolls, they were some of the unadulterated scriptures. The Council of Nicaea in the year 350, around 350. Who was it? Constantine? Who was it that held the Council of Nicaea? And they rewrote the Bible. They took out all the references.
Oh, yeah. You look at now I'm really going to, I hope your viewership doesn't nosedive when I mention this, but a lot of people seem to think that Mary Magdalene was a lady of the night.
Yeah.
She wasn't.
Right.
It was a speech in the 16th century by one of our popes who classified her as, basically a prostitute. She never was. She was one of Jesus's closest advisors.
Yeah. Yeah.
Maybe the closest.
Yeah.
But anyway.
Molly is wondering if you remember the book that you had told her that you had read or that she should read.
Oh, yes. You Are Psychic.
Okay.
Deborah, look at me trying to spell it, like that. DeBralynn and Psychic. Psychic. I want to make sure I don't spell physics. Your physics. And that will open, it did for me. Because, Mary Ellen, I wasn't connecting mediumship wise. I would go for a long walk. And I've had 2 back surgeries. This is after I had back surgeries years ago, 10, 12 years ago. Oh, longer than that. Yeah, about 12 years ago. And to relax my back after a 10-mile walk, I'd go take a hot bath, just to relax it and get the muscles relaxed. And I used to close my eyes, and I was always afraid I'd fall asleep in the bathtub because you hear about those accidents happen every now and then. And yet I would see people I didn't know, places I didn't recognize, and things that were unfamiliar to me. I mean, they were normal everyday things. So I would wake up going, man, that was a dream. And the next few times I did it, Mary Ellen, I could hear the plane going overhead. And I went, I'm not asleep at all. What is this?
Mm-hmm.
And nothing could explain this to me. Why
Mm-hmm.
am I hearing the TV in the other room? And I read hers about clairvoyant and psychic. And I went, oh my gosh.
Mm-hmm.
It's just a light bulb went off. Because I developed into, excuse me, sorry about that. I developed into a medium with the circle that I was involved in. But my psychic and clairvoyant abilities are still pretty strong. And so is my mediumship.
Mm-hmm.
And now I'm working on remote viewing. But Deborah Lynn Katz has written 3 books, Your Psychic, Extraordinary Psychic, and The Genie Within. And she mainly just teaches classes. It's been years since she's written a book.
Mm-hmm.
But, some people stray from the path. Here's what somebody once told me. Jerry, because I was considering being a deacon in the Catholic Church like 20 years ago. I thought I'd received a calling. I didn't know much about it because I'm a convert. And this Franciscan priest is now no longer a Franciscan priest. He's got a family. He left the priesthood, but he's still a really close friend of ours. So, Jerry, God doesn't care what you do. He doesn't care that you're a deacon. He doesn't care that you're in the Catholic Church. He doesn't care. I'm using the word he. He doesn't care what you do, as long as what you do draws you closer to him.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Draws you closer to God, draws you closer to the universe, draws you closer to spirit.
Right.
I've never been closer since discovering these gifts. I've never prayed as much. I never meditated as much. I've never given as much gratitude and forgiveness as I do.
And it is a process. It's always a process.
Yeah, it is a
Not
process.
the destination. It's the journey.
It is.
All right, let's get to. Hang on, I'm trying to.
Sorry, I got on my soapbox there for a minute, and I apologize to your viewing audience.
It's okay.
Oh, Karina. 2 words have never been more truer. Challenging times. Oh my gosh. All right, so I'm seeing a couple more bumps in the road for you. In addition to these challenging times, I hate to be the bearer of that, but you'll get through it. One of them is the health of a family member. This person needs to take a little bit better care of themselves. You're also, Karina. Oh man, that's a beautiful name, Karina. And I'm going to misspell her or mispronounce her last name, so I don't try. But Karina, you're a healer. You're also, Karina, what we call an empath. An empath, if you're familiar with that, you can walk into a room and sense the energies and the sensitivities of others in the room. It's a beautiful gift. I'm not one. My wife is one, but I'm not a healer. We're all healers in some way, but I'm certainly not an empath. But you have to protect yourself. That's what I tell everybody who's listening or who's had to read. Protect yourself in the morning and the evening before you go to bed. How do you protect yourself? Karina, in this case, to keep you from being drugged down by all the, I don't care where you are. You don't have to live in the States. You got economy, you got the world economy, you got COVID-19, and where's this going to go? When will the vaccine? But if you protect yourself with just a little bit of prayer in the morning and a little prayer in the evening, I always use my Father, Son, Holy Spirit, and I thank God, the universe, Spirit. I thank Jesus. I thank Mary, Blessed Mother. I thank spirit guides, and I thank archangels and ascended masters. I think my main spirit guide, a woman from India who's 200 or 300 years old named Celine. And I just ask for God's protection, for the universe's protection, for spirit's protection. I just ask for the light to protect me from any negative energies. In the evening, I do almost the same thing. If, to be honest and transparent, I don't fall asleep first. That's the challenge. Sometimes I wait too late and fall asleep. But some clarity, I see improved financial Improved financials, improved revenue for you. And I think it starts to happen in December. Now, are you going to win the lottery? I don't know. If you do, please give me a call. Let me know. But I don't mean to make light of that. I shouldn't have said that. I'm sorry, Korea. But I see some improvement. I see some light at the end of the tunnel for you. And lately, the tunnel's been pitch black, and you can't get through. And I'm not going to cheapen it by saying, well, we're all like that. We're not all like that, Karina. Some people, and I think you're one of them, has had a much tougher time with everything else going on in your life. There's a breakup in your family, or a divide in your family, and it doesn't have to be a physical separation. It could be, I'm not saying it's you, I'm just saying in your family, and that will add more stress, and keep in mind, Karina, you don't own other people's issues. It's their issues. You don't have to conform, or nobody has to conform and change to what the other person thinks that person needs to be. Nobody should tell you, here's, Karina, what you need to be. You don't need to be anything but yourself. That's it. Because God smiles greatly. You walk with a purpose. You walk with a love in your step. Spirit saying you walk outside as if you belong outside, as if you wish there was no roof over your head. Well, I know you do, but you know what I'm saying? You wish you could live in a pavilion if it wasn't dangerous and you could be protected from the elements. And so Earth seems to be your, what they call it, Marion, elemental. Is that what they call it? Mm-hmm. You know more about this stuff, Marion, than I do.
Yeah.
That's why I'm going to take a class so I can get caught up on all this stuff. But I do see a couple of bumps in the road. I see improved financials in December, starting to improve. And somewhere in the first 90 days, Karina, of 2021, I see you breaking free of a number of things. Spirit will let me go into them because I think some are pretty personal. You'll understand what I'm saying. I see you breaking free of just breaking free. Could be breaking free of a job, relationship. I don't know what Spirit's just saying breaking free. And I asked Spirit, do you have any more information? They said, yes, breaking free. And so I said, any more? And they go, yes, breaking free. And which means it's none of my business, which is fine. You're going to be okay. You're not a survivor. You're a fighter. There's a difference between a survivor and a fighter. You're a fighter. So I wish you the best, Karina. I think it's going to be good holidays for you. As much as it can be, and Spirit just added that, as much as it can be. Recognize the joy within you. Recognize the joy that you bring to people, Karina. Recognize that, and that will get you through what could be some challenging times during the holidays. But recognize you are loved by many, and that's enough to help sustain you. Okay? God bless. Wish you the best. Wish you the best.
That's wonderful. She says she appreciates this very much. So, okay, so we've got time for one more. And for everybody that we did not get a chance to read tonight, we do apologize. And Jerry will be back in 2 weeks. But in the meantime, please check out his website, learn more about what he does. Many people that have been on tonight have said that they've had readings with you later, and that he is fantastic, and I can personally. And Jerry's goal is to connect us with Spirit. That's what's so awesome about his readings, is that's his purpose and his intent, and that's what you get when you get a reading with him. So
it's an honor and a privilege to do readings for people. It really is.
Well, we really appreciate you.
It's just an honor.
Okay. Here we go. Sorry, that wasn't her question. Sherry asked if she could get a message from Spirit.
Sherry. No, that's Sherry.
I'm not going to sing because I like Sherry and I want her to come back. So I'm not going to sing.
Yeah, I'm not going to sing. The minute I start singing, your viewership. Yes, you can. Cherry? Am I pronouncing that correctly? What a beautiful picture. What is it, Cherry, about? The first thing I got, even before we ride on Spirit, said, oh, baseball's big with this one. I was like, oh, God, that's random. Oh,
she's got a message for you.
What'd she say?
She said that's her song.
Oh, is it? Okay, I thought she's... Okay, well, Cherry, that concludes the reading. I hope you enjoyed it. I'm just kidding. I thought she was responding to baseball because I don't know what it is about baseball. That is so random. But Cherry, you have gifts too. And I always tell people, pay attention to the random things. I'm reading this awesome book. I hope to really finish it because I'm not good at finishing books. I have about 25 books that are on my shelf that have yet to be finished. Most of them have yet to be started, but this one's called The Gift Within. And it talks about, Sherry, things you can do to, sorry, that was me, the hiccup. Things that you can do to tap into your gifts. And it's a beautiful book. It interviews a lot of people in the world and what they think about consciousness, intuition, and, psychic abilities and spiritual gifts. But there is a friend that needs you right now. And I recognize Cherry. She's been here before. And Cherry, if I haven't told you you're a healer, shame on me because you're a healer. And so this person, you're going to be called to help heal. Help start the healing. We let spirit and... Oh, baseball. There we go. I'm sorry you were hitting the head and got stitches. I wasn't, Oh, but it's funny, baseball. That's the first thing they mentioned was baseball. Well, I'm glad I digged up an uncomfortable memory. Just leave it to me. Touch that button. Note to self. Next time Cherry's on, just don't let me talk about baseball. Hey, weren't you wearing a helmet, young lady? Well, helmet in the ear. But anyway. But you being a healer is a friend who either needs your help right now or soon will really need your help. Will really need that consoling ear. I call it a consoling ear, an ear that really listens and listens. And this is a female friend. There's also, Jerry, a family member who also needs your assistance. Now, I feel this family member you've helped before. It was like, oh God. And I think it's I think it's a male. It's like, what does he want now? So use your own discretion. You can't get drained of energy. Cherry, you have children? 2, 3, 2 or 3. Maybe she'll respond. Anyway.
Give her just a second.
Okay. Yeah, it's tough. I know there's a delay.
Yeah.
I'm in faraway Castleberry, and so it is. We don't have 2 boys. Okay, I thought 2 boys. I'd die if they both played baseball. I bet you they're not better than their mom. I can tell you that. The concern about one cherry, there's a concern. I think a slight concern. Like in some ways, it's been built up too much. What's the word I'm looking over? Exaggerated. He'll be fine. They'll both be fine. I don't know if they're young or they're out of the house. I don't know if they're teenagers. Seem like they're teenagers. Maybe they're not. Maybe Maybe they're in their 20s. Oh, they're not into sports. That was the response to my baseball question. Good, because you'd beat the crap out of them in baseball, that's for sure. One seems a lot younger than the other one. Seems a lot younger. Whether it is or isn't, it seems a lot younger. What we'd call these days, Jerry, emotional intelligence is not quite there. God, they're not twins, are they? They all of a sudden they look close in age to me. Both grown and have kids themselves. Okay, man, I'm looking at the grandkid. Are they close in age? Why am I thinking they're almost like twins? Maybe they look alike, or spirit just kind of. But if they're not, then okay, I misinterpreted what spirit was saying. But I felt really strong about. 2 years apart. Okay, that's pretty close. I've got my daughter and my oldest son are 2 years apart. Okay. There's a challenge with one of them with job, with career, and maybe that's the concern I'm feeling, because I'm asking spirit, give me a little bit more information. Moms always want to know about their kids. And Jerry, I don't know if you work. I see a shift in jobs for you, but I'm seeing for the one that maybe you're concerned about his job. Or a job in the family, could be the wife, could be the daughter-in-law. I don't know, but they're going to be fine. They're going to be fine. Finances will be fine. It's almost like one of them was close to being laid off, or was laid off and found another job or something. I mean, in COVID-19, let's face it, you run across this all the friggin' time. It's so scary. It's like somebody in the family owns a small business too. But I'm seeing good things. They're on the right path. Yes, you do. Okay, good. I'm saying that diversify in 2 different areas. Like here, okay, past, present, future. Now you're looking at me backwards. Past is left, present's right front, future's to the right. You do have a small business currently, but you're going to go into the past a little bit and diversify to something that you did or something in the past. You're going to diversify the something that you see in the future. I think the future will eventually, the one you go to that maybe you haven't gone to yet, that's going to take over a lot of your business, and it's going to be good. It's going to be really good. Oh, and Spirit said, don't move just yet. Somebody's thinking about moving. You may not be talking about it, but somebody's thinking about moving. Don't move just yet, but look around. This sounds like a horoscope. Oh my gosh. Look around. You can always look around March, April, May. Yeah, around March, April, May. And something near water. Oh, near water now, but there's something near water that calls you. Okay, Jerry. I'm sorry, that's my name. Jerry. She probably loved the movie A League of Their Own because she played baseball. So, okay, that's what I got for you, young lady.
All right. Spirit. Well, thank you to everyone who's here tonight. Thank you. Really had a lot of people listening, and we're very appreciative of all the feedback and information, suggestions that people are giving us. And to you, Jerry, we could not obviously do it without you. So,
well, you can, but maybe not as funny. Not as funny. Let's be honest. Just kidding. I just think Spirit was on a roll tonight. It's just so many people needed to hear so many things. It's not like we don't every time, but sometimes Spirit says there's really an urgent need. And I'll look at some of the people that got through to you, and I can see if I can respond to some of them. Okay. It may be a short 2 or 3 sentences, but I'll see, because Mary and I like to get as many people, but with my I go off on tangents. Everybody knows that. Just call me Tangent Jerry, and I take up time. So anyway.
Well, anyway, if you weren't read tonight, check the messages back later. Jerry will try to at least respond, and he'll be back in 2 weeks, which is the 8th of December. We'll have another show, and you can always meet with us to try to get a reading on the show live as well. But we're really grateful for everybody who's tuned in tonight and then watching us in replay. This is why we do it, was to get this information out to people, and you never know what we're going to talk about when we're live.
That's true. And good night, Ireland. Get to bed. It's now.
I think she finally turned in. So
what's it? 2:30. Oh my gosh.
Yeah. All right. Well, thank you again, Jerry, and thank you, everybody.
Thanks.
Good night.
Good night.